Simplilearn. Your pace, your place.
Simplilearn's e-learning course content, material and figures consists of reference from APMG syllabus, guidelines and ITIL official website. ITIL is a registered trademark of the Cabinet Office. IT Infrastructure Library is a registered trademark of the Cabinet Office. The swirl logo is a trademark of the Cabinet Office. ITIL Capability, Service Offerings and Agreements. Hello and welcome to Simplilearn's ITIL 2011 Capability course on Service Offerings and Agreements Certification Preparation. This is the introductory lesson provided by Simplilearn on SOA. I am Alex, who will be with you throughout this e-learning session. This course consists of 11 learning units apart from this introductory lesson. Therefore, it is important that you go through this lesson before accessing the remaining 11 learning units. So what are we waiting for? Let's begin with the introductory lesson agenda. We will first begin with the objective of this lesson, followed by a few recap topics that you might have covered during your ITIL foundation level. The topics we will cover are ITIL Basic Introduction, ITIL Intermediate and its relevant topics. This is followed by information about the Accreditation Institute, SOA course description, and its objective. We will then look at who can attend this course. Next, moving to the exam section, we will learn about the exam prerequisites, or say the eligibility criteria for attending this course, exam format and the exam tips to help you achieve this certification. Lastly, we will look at the SOA course outline and the duration required for each learning unit and details about the quiz provided by Simplilearn at the end of each learning unit. So go ahead and experience this courseware. The objective of this introductory lesson is to educate you on the courseware that Simplilearn offers, help you on how this online course works, ensure that you are aware of all the topics and subtopics covered in this course. Let's now move on to recap on ITIL basics in the next slide. ITIL is the most widely adopted approach for IT service management in the world. It provides a practical, no-nonsense framework for identifying, planning, delivering, and supporting IT services to the business. Adopting ITIL can offer users a huge range of benefits that include improved IT services, reduced costs, improved customer satisfaction through a more professional approach to service delivery, improved productivity, improved use of skills and experience, and improved delivery of third-party service. We will study more about ITIL under the topic Foundation Basics at the end of this lesson. Let us now understand the ITIL Intermediate, which is the next level in the ITIL certification. ITIL 2011 Intermediate level is the next level after ITIL Foundation. ITIL Intermediate level has a modular structure, with each module focusing on different aspects of ITIL. They are Service Lifecycle and Service Capability. The intermediate modules focuses more on detail-oriented study than the foundation level, and is an industry-recognized qualification. Well, on completion of your ITIL Foundation, and prior choosing this course, I am sure the thought on how one can become an ITIL expert must have crossed your mind. Let's get the answer to this in the next slide. Let us have a brief look at the ITIL certification path. The diagram in the slide is the graphical depiction of the ITIL certification path. ITIL certification path is based on credit point system. That is, you need to accumulate 9 credit points at each stage until expert. ITIL Foundation is the first certification which gives you 2 credit points on certification. On completion of the foundation level, you become eligible to appear for intermediate level, where you can choose from the 2 streams: 1. Lifecycle and 2. Capability. The Lifecycle modules have all the standard 5 lifecycle phases as exams, which provide 3 credits each. Capability modules are more focused towards implementation content and have 4 exams, which provide 4 credits each. You can choose any one of the modules from either streams or make a combination on the basis of your experience in the industry. Thus, at this level, the minimum credit requirement is 15. Once you accumulate 15 points plus 2 of foundation, that is 17 credit points, makes you eligible for 3rd level, that is MALC, which provides you 5 credit points. Once you are certified MALC, your final score credit becomes 22. To become an ITIL expert, there is no separate exam. You need to accumulate 22 credits to get the ITIL expert certificate. I am sure we are clear on the certification path. Let us understand the service lifecycle and its modules in the next slide. The service lifecycle modules are for candidates who aspire to handle a management or team lead role, which requires a broad management focus on ITIL practice areas. It is also for candidates who work or coordinate across teams or manages multiple capability areas. The different modules under Service Lifecycle are 1. Service Strategy, SS, 2. Service Design, SD, 3. Service Transition, ST, 4. Service Operation, SO, 5. Continual Service Improvement, CSI. Similarly, let's understand Service Capability in the next slide. Service Capability modules are for the candidates who aspire to specialize in process-level knowledge in one or more processes, which focuses more on day-to-day execution. The different modules under Service Capability are 1. Service Offerings and Agreements, SOA, 2. Release Control and Validation, RCV, 3. Operational Support and Analysis, OSA, 4. Planning, Protection and Optimization, PPO. As we have an understanding of both the streams, let us understand the differences between them in the next slide. Here is the difference between the lifecycle and capability. If you observe, you will see that lifecycle is mainly phase-oriented, whereas capability is process-oriented. Also, lifecycle focuses on individuals who work on the process, whereas capability focuses on individuals who are in the process. Take a few minutes to learn more about the differences on this slide. Once you're done, move on to learn about MALC. Managing across the lifecycle is the last step in achieving the ITIL Expert certification. Therefore, it is mainly focused on individuals who want to become ITIL experts. On completing MALC, an individual can apply the ITIL knowledge, and it provides skills that can be used in the workplace in a tangible way. We have already discussed on the credit system in the certification path slide. However, just to mention, the MALC certification gives you 5 credit points. Now let us proceed to look at the Accreditation Institute for ITIL in the next slide. The governing body for ITIL 2011 Foundation and Intermediate is the Cabinet Office, UK. Simplilearn is accredited by APMG and TUV as an ITIL Foundation and Intermediate training provider. Also, Simplilearn is an accredited examination center, AEC, by APMG, TUV and EXIN to conduct these exams. So this has been our basic introduction on ITIL. Let us now focus on the SOA course description and objective in the coming slides. The SOA certificate is a freestanding qualification, but is also part of the ITIL Intermediate Capability Stream and one of the modules leading to the ITIL Expert in IT Service Management certificate. The purpose of this training module and the associated exam and certificate is, respectively, to impart, test, and validate the knowledge on industry practices in service management as documented in the ITIL Service Lifecycle core publications. Let's understand the objective of this course in the next slide. The ITIL certificate in service offerings and agreements is intended to enable the holders of the certificate to apply SOA practices in service management lifecycle and specifically in the following key ITIL process, role and function areas: service portfolio management, service catalog management, service level management, demand management, supplier management, financial management for IT services, business relationship management. This course also introduces and explores the implementation of SOA practices, as well as technology considerations. Let us now look at the candidates who can opt for this certification in the next slide. The target group of the ITIL Intermediate Qualification Service Offerings and Agreements Certificate includes, but is not restricted to, IT professionals, business managers, business process owners, individuals who require a deep understanding of the service offerings and agreements processes and of how it may be used to enhance the quality of IT service support within an organization. IT professionals who are working within an organization that has adopted and adapted ITIL and who need to be informed about and thereafter contribute to an ongoing service improvement program. Let's continue to discuss about the target candidates in the next slide. Apart from the candidates mentioned in the previous slide, the following candidates can also apply or attend this course: operational staff involved in service portfolio management, service level management, service catalog management, demand management, supplier management, financial management for IT services, and business relationship management who wish to enhance their role-based capabilities. Individuals who have attained the ITIL Foundation Certificate in IT Service Management and wish to advance to a higher level of ITIL certifications. Individuals seeking the ITIL Expert Certificate in IT Service Management, for which this qualification can be one of the prerequisite modules. Individuals seeking progress towards the ITIL Master Certificate in IT Service Management, for which the ITIL Expert is a prerequisite. Let us now look at the exam prerequisites for this course in the next slide. To be eligible for the examination leading to the ITIL Release, Control and Validation Certificate, the candidate must fulfill the following requirements: undertake at least 30 contact hours, hours of instruction, excluding breaks, with an accredited training organization, ATO, or an accredited e-learning solution. For this syllabus, as part of a formal approved training course scheme. 2 to 4 years professional experience working in IT service management is highly desirable. Hold the ITIL Foundation Certificate in IT Service Management or other appropriate certificate, earlier ITIL and bridge qualifications. It is also recommended that candidates should complete a minimum of 12 hours of personal study by reviewing the syllabus and the pertinent areas within the ITIL Service Transition and ITIL Service Operation core guidance in preparation for the examination. Specifically, Chapter 2, Service Management as a Practice. In the next slide, we will discuss about SOA Exam Format. ITIL 2011 SOA exam consists of 8 multiple-choice questions, which will be scenario-based, gradient-scored questions. Each question will have 4 possible answer options, one of which is worth 5 marks, one which is worth 3 marks, one which is worth 1 mark, and one which is a distractor and achieves no marks. The duration of the exam is 90 minutes. As a prerequisite, you need to have an ITIL 2011 Foundation Certificate or ITIL V2 Foundation Certificate plus Bridge Certificate and completion of an accredited course from an ITIL accredited training provider. It is a supervised exam and closed book. You need to acquire a minimum pass score of 28 right answers out of 40 questions, or score 70% in the exam. The next slide talks about the exam tips. Here are a few exam tips that will help you overcome the examination as well as score good pass percentage. Please take a few minutes to learn about these tips on the slide. Once you have completed the exam tips, move to the next slide on the SOA course outline. Let me give you an overview of all the learning units of this tutorial. In all, we have 11 learning units, including the introductory lesson, which we will be completing in a few minutes. Let's look at the other learning units now. Learning Unit 1. This unit provides introduction to the core concepts and terminology of the service lifecycle stages that are related to SOA. These include select processes of service strategy and service design. Learning Unit 2. This unit is all about service portfolio management. It provides a complete overview of the objectives, scope, and importance of service portfolio management and of how it relates business services to IT services. Service portfolio management policies, principles, concepts, activities, methods, and techniques are explained in relation to SOA practices. The relationship of service portfolio management to the service catalog and service pipeline is described and illustrated. Efficient use of service portfolio management metrics is reviewed. Learning Unit 3 explores how the process of service catalog management contributes to SOA practices. It provides a complete overview of the objectives, scope, and of the importance of service catalog management as an interface to the service portfolio, as well as of the difference between a business and a technical service catalog. Service catalog management policies, principles, concepts, activities, methods, and techniques are explored in relation to SOA. Efficient use of service catalog management metrics are reviewed in this unit. Learning Unit 4 introduces the Service Level Management (SLM) process and how it contributes to SOA. It provides a complete overview of the objectives, scope, and the importance of SLM as a process to generate business value. IT SLM policies, principles, concepts, activities, methods, and techniques are explained in relation to SOA practices, including SLA structures and determining service level requirements. Efficient use of SLM metrics are reviewed in this unit, along with monitoring of service performance against SLAs, as well as OLAs. Learning Unit 5 addresses how the demand management process contributes to SOA practices. It explores the objectives, scope, and importance of activity-based demand management, as a process to generate business activity patterns. Demand management policies, principles, concepts, activities, methods, and techniques are explained in relation to SOA practices. Efficient uses of the interfaces to service portfolio, as well as managing demand for service, are reviewed. Learning Unit 6 addresses how the supplier management process contributes to SOA practices. It explores the objectives, scope, and importance of supplier management as a process to generate business value. It looks at supplier management policies, principles, concepts, activities, methods, and techniques in relation to SOA practices, as well as how these relate to the service lifecycle. It covers the evaluation of new suppliers, the use of supplier categorization, and maintenance of the supplier and contract database. Efficient use of supplier-related measures and metrics are also reviewed. Learning Unit 7 looks at financial management for IT services and how it contributes to SOA. It provides an overview of the objectives, scope, and importance of financial management for IT services as a process for generating business value. Financial management for IT services policies, principles, concepts like funding, accounting, and charging are covered, along with the activities, methods, and techniques in relationship to SOA practices. Efficient use of financial management for IT services metrics is reviewed in this unit, as well as their design and implementation. Learning Unit 8 deals with Business Relationship Management, BRM, and how this role contributes to SOA practices. It covers business relationship management policies, principles, and concepts, along with the activities, methods, and techniques in relationship to SOA practices. Efficient use of business relationship management metrics are reviewed in this unit, as well as the design and implementation. Learning Unit 9 deals with the roles and responsibilities which contribute to SOA practices. Each SOA process has a number of roles associated with it. The responsibilities of these roles are defined and discussed. Learning Unit 10 deals with SOA technology and implementation considerations. Service design is specifically used to identify good practices and evaluation criteria for technology and tools related to process implementation. Service operation provides the specifics on planning and implementing service management technology support, as well as a guide to generic requirements for technology. All three lifecycle stages, namely service design, service operation, and service transition, are used to explore the challenges, critical success factors, and risks related to implementing practices and processes. Learning Unit 11 is the last unit of the module, which consists of the summary, exam preparation, and directed studies. In this learning unit, we will summarize the material covered in the previous units and prepare you for the examination. A mock examination will be conducted as part of the delivery of this course. Let us now understand about the quiz questions given by Simplilearn in this tutorial. In this tutorial, at the end of each learning unit, quiz questions are provided by Simplilearn. This is to help you assess your knowledge on completion of each learning unit. The question pattern would be objective type with explanation to the right answer, and each module will consist of sample case studies and sample test papers from APMG. Apart from these exercises, a glossary for your reference will be provided at the end of this course. Please note, to move from one learning unit to another, you need to complete these quiz questions with the right answers. Let us proceed to recap on some of the definitions and terms used in ITIL. The next section is on Foundation Basics. Well, this section is provided to help you refresh the learnings from ITIL Foundation. Here we will discuss about service management, functions and processes of SOA.
Best practices provide a set of generic guidelines based on successful experiences of a number of organizations. They help in defining solutions, but have to be adapted to a specific organization. Let us see the list of ITIL publications since the 1980s to 2011. In the 1980s, British government determined that the level of IT service quality they received was not sufficient. The Central Computer and Telecommunications Agency, CCTA, were assigned to develop a framework for efficient and financially responsible use of IT resources. This was a joint effort between the government and private sector experts. In 2000, the CCTA merged into the Office for Government Commerce, OGC. Microsoft used ITIL as the basis to develop the Microsoft Operations Framework, MOF. In 2001, version 2 of ITIL is released. The service support and service delivery books were redeveloped. In 2007, version 3 of ITIL is released, which adopts a lifecycle approach to service management with a better emphasis on IT business integration. The latest version is 2011, which is currently followed. In the next slide, let us look into the qualification scheme of ITIL. There are three basic components of ITIL publications. First being the ITIL Core. This is the best practice guidance applicable to all types of organizations who provide services to a business. The core consists of 5 lifecycle books and a glossary. The second component being the ITIL complementary guidance, which are additional books providing specific guidance based on industry sectors, organization types, etc. The third being the web support services, which represent the information available from contributors from the industry and other channels. These together form the basis for developing and maintaining the lifecycle strategies depicted in the core volumes. This is made available via the www.itil-live-portal.com website. Now we will discuss the 5 lifecycle books and a glossary of ITIL core publications. ITIL core publications. The ITIL core library is composed of 5 books or publications representing each of the service lifecycle stages. The first book on service strategy focuses on design, development, and implementation of service management so that the IT services are able to provide value to business. The second book on service design provides guidance for the design and development of services and processes. covering design principles and methods for converting objectives of IT organization into portfolios of services and service assets. So, the service design basically deals with design of new and changed services that an IT organization wants to offer to its customers. The third book on service transition covers the development and improvement of capabilities for transitioning new and changed services into the live production or operating environment. So, the service transition ensures that a new services or a change to an existing services is properly tested and deployed into the live production environment. The fourth book on service operation takes a look at the different practices in the management of service operation and includes guidance on achieving efficiency and effectiveness in the delivery and support of services, meaning service operation takes of co-coordinating and carrying out day-to-day activities and processes to deliver and manage IT services. The fifth book on continual service improvement is focused on creating and maintaining value for customers through better design, introduction, and operation of services. The aim here is to continually align IT services to changing business needs by identifying and implementing improvements. As we have discussed the 5 lifecycle publications in this slide, now we will look into a diagram which shows the ITIL 2011 processes and functions across lifecycle. The illustration given on the slide demonstrates the processes and functions of ITIL 2011 in relation to the service lifecycle phases. The diagram also depicts what each phase of the service lifecycle is primarily doing. Although service level management officially sits in the service design book, it plays a very important role in the continual service improvement phase, and therefore could also fit in the CSI book as a process. Now we will learn about the 4 Ps, which are essential for a service designer when planning a service. Service design is one of the 5 stages in the service lifecycle. This stage translates the needs and requirements of the customers into the services they desire. Service design will help you determine your target market and how you can differentiate your business offerings from your competitors. When planning a service designer needs to consider the 4 Ps. People. People are in charge of providing IT services. These professionals should have the skills and competencies required for providing services. Products. The products are the tools, services, and technology used in the delivery of and support of the services. Processes. Processes support and manage the services being offered so that the services meet customer expectations and agreed service levels. All processes must be measurable. Partners. When designing services, vendors, manufacturers, and suppliers should be considered, as they will be utilized to support the service once it is live. Studying ITIL service design will be helpful in understanding how these 4 Ps relate to one another. Fully understanding and considering the 4 Ps as critical success factors are necessary not only for a high-quality service, but also for the success of that service. Now we will discuss about business and IT alignment in the next slide. The diagram divides an organization into a number of layers that work towards meeting a number of organizational goals. These layers are communicated by the following. 1. Organization. Organization has key goals and objectives. 2. Business processes. These business processes enable the objectives above to be met. 3. IT service organization. IT services are required to enable effective and efficient execution of the business processes. 4. IT service management. The focus here is on the ITIL processes required for quality delivery and support of the IT services above. 5. IT technical activities. The actual technical activities required for execution of the ITIL processes above. These are technology specific. Let us know what service does mean. A service is a means of delivering value to customers by facilitating outcomes customers want to achieve without the ownership of specific costs and risks. IT service management is concerned with delivering and supporting IT services that are appropriate to the business requirements of an organization. This improves efficiency and effectiveness and reduces the risks of managing IT services. In the next slide, we will discuss resources and capabilities as well as other important things regarding this. Resources and capabilities are types of assets. Organizations use them to create value in the form of goods and services. Resources are direct inputs for production. Management, organization, people, and knowledge are used to transform resources. Capabilities represent an organization's ability to coordinate, control, and deploy resources to produce value. They are typically experience-driven, knowledge-intensive, information-based, and firmly embedded within an organization's people, systems, processes, and technologies. It is relatively easy to acquire resources compared to capabilities. Capabilities are developed over time. The development of distinctive capabilities is enhanced by the breadth and depth of experience gained from the number and variety of customers, market spaces, contracts, and services. A business unit is simply a bundle of assets meant to create value for customers in the form of goods and services. Customers pay for the value they receive, which ensures that the business unit maintains an adequate return on assets. The relationship is good as long as the customer receives value and the business unit recovers costs and receives some form of compensation or profit. Now we will understand creating service value and discuss on two primary elements: utility or fitness for purpose and warranty or fitness for use. From the customer's perspective, value consists of two primary elements: utility or fitness for purpose and warranty or fitness for use. Utility is perceived by the customer from the attributes of the service that have a positive effect on the performance of tasks associated with desired outcomes. Removal or relaxation of constraints on performance is also perceived as a positive effect. Warranty is derived from the positive effect being available when needed, in sufficient capacity or magnitude, and dependably in terms of continuity and security. Utility is what the customer gets, and warranty is how it is delivered. Customers cannot benefit from something that is fit for purpose, but not fit for use, and vice versa. It is useful to separate the logic of utility from the logic of warranty for the purpose of design, development, and improvement. Considering all the separate controllable inputs allows for a wider range of solutions to the problem of creating, maintaining, and increasing value. Let us learn what processes is and what are the characteristics of the process. Processes can be defined as a structured set of coordinated activities designed to produce an outcome and provide value to customers or stakeholders. A process takes one or more inputs, and through the activities performed, turns them into defined outputs. Some principles. All processes should be measurable and performance-driven, not just time, but measuring overall efficiency, including cost, effort, and other resources used. Processes are strategic assets when they create competitive advantage and market differentiation. Processes may define roles, responsibilities, tools, management controls, policies, standards, guidelines, activities, and work instructions if they are needed. Let us proceed to the first module.
Finally, let's understand how does IT service management relate to corporate governance. But what is corporate governance, and why is it needed? Corporate governance is about establishing corporate policies, enabling strategic direction, objectives, critical success factors, and key result areas for the organization. It ensures that strategy and business plans are in place. Corporate compliance provides assurance to governance that all legal, industrial, and regulatory rules are being followed, while executing the corporate strategy. IT compliance is a part of corporate compliance. IT governance establishes, enables, and executes the IT strategy. It establishes operations to assure high-quality, compliant IT service provisioning. It also ensures effective key result areas for the IT organizations. This marks the end of our introductory lesson. Let's do a quick recap of what we learnt so far. In this lesson, we discussed about what is ITIL, ITIL Intermediate, definition of service lifecycle and capability. We also got some information about the ITIL Intermediate Examination Format itself, and looked at the prerequisite of taking up the examination. Finally, we covered the objective, eligible candidates, SOA syllabus, and foundation basics. Hope you have a clear view of how the tutorial works. Thank you, and happy learning.